All right, guys. This right here, what you're looking at, this is the course outline. This was last updated in 2021. That's not a bad thing. That just means that was the last time that the Department of Financial Services made any changes to this course. Okay? So let's talk about what this means here. Now, you'll see if we just go straight to page S1, the first thing we come across right here is Florida Agent Life, including annuities and variable contracts. Well, this is the life license. Your license number is going to be 214. So if you are applying for your life insurance with annuities and variable contracts, that's going to be a 214. If you're going to apply for your health only, it's going to be a 240. And if you're going to apply for your health, life, and annuities and combine all three of those classes of insurance into one license, it's a little bit longer of a course. The other two courses that I mentioned were only 40 hours and you get 2 hours to take the state exam. The health, life, and annuities is a 60-hour course. Now, this right here, the content outline, is going to tell you literally line by line what you need to know to pass this test. And I'm going to show you right now that 90% of this course is nothing more than basic vocabulary, right? So, but before we do that, right here, this first section, you'll see where it says general knowledge, types of policies and features, 14%. Well, if you're taking the life course, that 14% equals 5.6 hours of course time. That's what they're saying that's weighted as. This next section, policy, riders, provisions, options, and exclusions, those are ways that we can enhance the policies. That's worth right at a 21%. What is that? Is that really a round number? It sounds like 8.4, 8.5%, 8.5 hours. 8.4, 8.5. So if you're looking at these two sections right here, it's telling you exactly what you're going to have to cover. So let's scroll down. We're talking about licensing on S1. Let's go down to page S2. David, do me a favor. Can you go to page S2 for everybody that's following along? Okay. On page S2, on the second side of on the second half of the page, you're going to see licensing, okay? Well, I guess even before we get there, on S2, what you're going to see is right up at the top, you'll see a 9% there for tax concepts. You'll see Florida statutes, rules, and regulations. That's where we're going. That section right there is 24%. Nearly 10 hours of the course is comprised of not only what we're discussing right now, but a lot of other basic things, right? So let's go over to the second side of the page here. Are we up there? You guys got it? I want to be on S2, David. No, S3, sorry. That's me, user error. Okay, so if you go to the second part of the page there, you'll see licensing. What do we have? We have purpose, number 1. License type, which is an agent or agency. The appointments, which we just discussed. The appointment was you aligning with an insurer. Well, there's one other status that you can have with a license. It's called an unaffiliated agent. Me, I'm actually an unaffiliated agent. I teach insurance licensing. I teach continuing education. I help build agencies and marketing campaigns. But one thing that I don't do is actually sell product. I train you guys how to sell products. I'm a compliance officer. So what that means is that I'm unaffiliated. I am self-appointed. It means that I can give you advice. I can consult with you. I just can't bind a policy. Okay? So that right there, that covers your bullet point number 3, where you have your company and your unaffiliated, because a company is just, if you're getting appointed with an insurance agency, they're the appointing entity. They're responsible for the fees for getting you appointed to the insurer. Sometimes the insurer is responsible for it. None of the time are you responsible for it. Okay? Now here, where you see the next bullet point number 4, License requirements, guys, this couldn't be any more basic. The license requirements that they're talking about, when they say education, they're talking about this course. You're signing up. Even if you haven't signed up yet and this is just your test drive, you're aware of the fact that you're in a test drive of a course that is 40 hours required pre-licensing, right? That's a test question. Unless you're taking the course for health, life, and variable annuities, then it's a 60-hour course. But you know these things because you're filling out your application. Everything that you do identifies the type of license that you're getting, and that's pretty much what they're talking about when it comes to education. It just means that you have to submit yourself to the torture of being in class for 40 hours. You can do it with a live instructor, or you can do it correspondence where I just hand you a book and tell you to read it, right? Either way, it's completely up to you. Requirement-wise, if you're not attending course like this, it means that the words that you're reading on the page equate to time, okay? So that's how they're keeping your attendance, but attendance is mandatory. There is no, I don't want to show up, I know this stuff, let me just go ahead and take the final exam, Jay. Nah, this is minimum standards. We're required to sit through the 40 hours of preparation or the 60 hours of preparation prior to sitting for the state exam. That is literally what they want you to know on bullet point number 4, 4A. 4B, the application. Remember we started talking about this on the Pearson VUE. The application is just who you're applying with the state of Florida. So the application fee is paid to the state of Florida. The identification card that you get once you pass your state exam is paid to the state of Florida. That's like $5, not a big deal. Your fingerprinting is paid to your vendor, and your testing is paid to the Pearson VUE. So in this right here, the application, there's really, this isn't very intimidating, guys. The next one, background check, we already covered it. The background check is to make sure that you're not a criminal, right? How do they do it? It's the fingerprints. You have to go and get your fingerprints done at an approved facility. As long as you get your fingerprints done, they take care of everything else because you paid the fee. A portion of that fee, I think it breaks down to like $14. That's not important, but that literally is the fee that the FBI and all those other places charge the fingerprinting company in order for you to get a clean, yes, they can have a license. And then last but not least, 4D is the examination. Well, your examination with me, it's a final exam. 2 hours, guys. You pass, I give you a yup, you can move on to state exam licensing. You have to pass with a 70 or better. Same thing when you get to the state side, you got to pass with a 70 or better. The next step, maintaining a license, we're not there yet. You don't have a license. But the reason that we went ahead and jumped through some of these little resources here, because you just saw that everything we identified comes directly out of the state website and the subcontractors that they use to help us get licensed. This class does not get any more complicated than that. Right now, I think between the beginning of the test drive and the introduction with the top 10 things, you've been with us for a little over an hour. Every moment that you've spent with us has counted towards your pre-licensing requirement. You may not think that you learned that much today, but the fact of the matter is you now know that the state of Florida has a customer service department, and it's located at myfloridacfo.com. The reason it's located there because the chief financial officer is in charge of the business of insurance. If you did want to get a license and you went to myfloridacfo.com, what you would see is 13 different divisions ranging from customer service all the way down to agent and agency service. They're all administratively contained there and under the supervision of the chief financial officer. You learned that you had to be a natural citizen, at least 18 years of age. You learned that fingerprinting is part of your background check. The appointment process is necessary. You can't just have a license without an insurer affiliation unless you're like me and you only engage in the consulting aspect of the business. Then you can be an unaffiliated agent. All of these little bullet points we're going to reinforce them. That link that you just got on the bottom right there, that's to the iFlash for you. If you don't remember and you haven't seen it, I'm not trying to be a perv or anything, but these are the insurance flashcards that we created for you. iFlashForYou.com breaks down every one of these segments. So if you're watching this in replay later on or want to review, you just act like you're on Tinder. You grab your phone, you go, boop, you go over to the Central Florida Insurance School flashcards over there on Quizlet, you log in, and as I'm having the discussion like this right here, if you go over to Test Drive, these bullet points are listed on those flashcards for you to be able to keep in sync with. I really don't want you guys, having to grab a pen and starting to take notes all over the place. I just want you to be able to absorb what it is we're talking about. Let's have a casual conversation about 95% of these industry topics, and I promise you, you're going to pass on the first try and leave and be like, oh my God, Jason and the Insurance School made it easy. You're damn right we made it easy. We slap agents into production every day. Let's do it.